Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. So, same thing as yesterday. It's time to cook more cutscenes. I've done a little bit more work on this one for meeting Yui for the first time. I did a little bit of work on it off stream. You know, also making sure that it kinda works properly in game, and it kinda works properly in game, but you know, the keyword there is only kind of. So, but it is possible to get to the end of the cutscene. So, albeit with a few issues. A few issues I know I need to knock out. Specifically, I know this one happens here, where it plays the sound too much. This actually plays like every single frame, which is not good. And doesn't sound good either, honestly. And then there's some camera issues I need to work out, but otherwise the cutscene is functional with an asterisk. So I think what I'll do here, actually, it's cut scene time. Heck yeah. Welcome in, Science Yoshi. How's it going? I need to think here about why this is happening here specifically. I think I actually go and look at this. There might be a case in here for... guess there isn't. Okay, that's helpful. But is that actually what I want? That the... Let's see here. This might not even be what I'm after. Yeah, this is the animation I want. This is the one right here. Everyone's favorite Yui pose. I need that to actually happen on this. Index, this goes to the end of the animation. We don't move, we do a squish, and we should play the sound. But we should be on this sprite. So if we're not on this sprite, we should set the sprite and do this, but then we'll be on the sprite. So why does it keep happening? I think maybe the text boxes are doing something. You know, probably. Probably that. I bet for this single frame that a menu doesn't exist, it's freaking out. So, let me unloop this song since stream has started. We'll go to shuffle and heck yeah. My goal for today is to get this cutscene with Yui, the meeting Yui cutscene, fixed and ready to go. I don't know what I'll do after that, if anything. I was thinking maybe just move on to the next cutscene or just do some general bug fixy things. Unsure at the moment, but there's some options. And I'll pause the music since we're going to have game audio here. Oh, and ignore the playhead timer. Let's see, do we... Oh, we don't do anything. Cool, awesome even. And now it's even more broken than initially expected. I'll refresh the scene. Xbox triggers, nothing. Okay. So I do need to do this differently with the text box thing here. So if there isn't a cutscene, we go to that. Otherwise, we go to menu, exist, dot. What does this need to be? Cutscene. So there's like one frame where this is happening, where there's not a menu. And because of that, it is just making things freak out for one single frame, singular. So that does things like set Yui into a party member state instead of the cutscene state, which I'm guessing causes all this. That's the logic I'm following right now. Yeah, the likelihood of one small thing breaking every other thing just increases more and more as the project grows. It's like a universal truth almost. I wouldn't really say you're late. You're actually kind of early, Vexility. Welcome in. Welcome in. There we go. Okay, he's supposed to walk there. He's supposed to do a walking animation. Doesn't do that. Okay. Oh, hello. Either here before stream or just absent. I mean, that's kind of true. That's kind of true, actually. Okay, so the cutscene actually finishes properly, though there are a few pauses in there that I don't like how it looks. So, do need to make it focus the player. That's another thing. Can't wait till my own project becomes gigantic and I break it all by accidentally placing one singular semicolon on accident. See, the great thing about Game Maker is you don't have to use semicolons. You don't have to, but there's some cases where you should, actually. Like, if you're returning a value. Because, like, if I wanted this code to, like, stop prematurely, like, if I put return here, okay, you might think, oh, yeah, it's just going to return out of whatever we're doing here. However, because there's not a semicolon here, it's actually going to return this under it. So if I wanted it just to return out of this, I would have to put a semicolon or say, hey, return 1 or LOL or UE or something like that, for example. Sorry for missing yesterday's stream. Hey, you don't ever have to apologize about missing a stream. I mean, I know other people have lives and things to do. It's not going to bother me at all. That being said, you should always drop everything to join a Journoid stream. Like, your life depends on it. For sure. This is not legal advice. But let's get... So I know this is not needed anymore. Don't need to see what we're doing camera-wise, but I will go through here. And let's see. This is cutscene skip. Going to set the size here. Was playing Celeste right until this stream started. I love Celeste. I need to actually go through and probably replay that. That would be a fun stream game to replay and then go into like some of the post-game stuff. I'm gonna find where everything is here. Oh, I see. Sprite index is not this one. Walk rug? No. What did I name this? Walk talk rug. Okay. Simple as. There's that. Don't think there's a mobile Celeste? No, and I don't think you would want... I don't think you would want mobile Celeste, if I'm being honest. That would probably not be a good experience. Not without a controller, at least. Ooh, 75% off on Steam. I have it on Switch, actually. There's those fixed. This jump happens slightly faster. That's what that is. Please, Steve, I need this. I think what I might actually do here, this might make this slightly easier. No, it needs to be meet_UE. Is just always have the camera be, let's see, camera, set position, just always set it to this. This is dangerous to do this, but I mean, might as well. And in this, I need to make it focus the player. Set, no, camera, set target, main character. And I think this will work the way I want it to. We're about to find out. The drink of the stream today is Hib Extra, because I don't have a Dr. Pepper in my little Yeti cooler. I have a little, like, it's not really a thermos, but like one of those, like, keep your drink a temperature thingies. I guess that would be a thermos. I don't know. But it's like for cans. So I've like always got either a Dr. Pepper or a Pib in that. Let's see. This and send us in. No, Dr. Pepper, who are you? That's what I'm saying. It's rare that I don't have Dr. Pepper in it. Hey, why is he there? He's not supposed to be there like that. Yui needs to stop yapping there. Ta-da. I think this text box should also be down, so... And do we have camera focus? We do. Okay. So, almost done here. Hello, old sprite, for a second. Let's see. Oh no, it doesn't freeze the animation. Well, it repeats it. It's the old MC. He shows up. Journoid evil twin. MC casually hanging out in his own vision. This is true. And he's not supposed to do that. Because I'm pretty sure here in the very first scene, I say, hey, go invisible. But I guess he's not. So I'm going to like... Well, I guess this might take place after initialization. Which that's mildly annoying, but... Okay, wait, this is now double strange because... Okay, if we see... Pop these in here. You should be invisible. I mean, I could just move him off screen too, that's another possibility, but... Make sure he's just... invisible everywhere. I don't want to just like spam copy and paste code just because I don't know why it's doing a thing that it's doing. I want to actually understand why I'm screwing things up. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that... No, that's the other one. We need... This next one here. 7, 8, 9, and this one needs to be forced into the bottom text box position, as well as the next one, I think. And probably speed this up a little bit so that camera tween works a little better. As a Roblox player, I've been getting these guys send a laughing disco emoji scams live. Huh? I've never heard of that, but I mean, it's Roblox, so scams don't surprise me. I'm like the biggest Roblox hater, honestly. TBH. I'm not a fan of that. I don't, and I've given it an honest attempt 3 different times. I've been, like, in different periods of my life, I've been asked, like, hey, hop on Roblox and play with me, right? And each time I've just been like, yeah, it's not for me. I don't like it. Not sure I rock with it. Each time. And I honestly do not see the appeal. Because it's not like Roblox runs better than like other games or anything like that. I've seen a lot of just abysmally optimized games on there too, or it's just like, why would I play this when there's like the actual game that this Roblox game is based off of on Steam half the time for free? Been a Roblox player for nearly 10 years. I'm sorry to hear that. See, I need to like zoom this code out a little bit and see like a bigger picture here. And this back up here so I can see what I'm working with. So this is where we're walking. This is where we're talking. I think we need to set image speed 0 and set image index 0 for Yui here. Because this is where she's waiting for main character to talk. Actually, yeah, the first one is her talking. Okay, so that's going to make her stop that, like, LOL gap. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days. Don't say 2016 was 10 years ago. That makes me sound old. I don't want to think that 2016 was actually 10 years ago. That's absurd. One thing I do think I'm going to do is go to the actual text box object here, and I'm going to like make it destroy faster. I got to remember, I think it's like this. We're going to make this like slightly faster. Where does it actually destroy at? Where is that code? Oh, it's a time. Oh, okay. So we're going to make this like, we're going to half that time to like 7 frames. So fade out is true. If fade out is true, where was that at? I saw it. Instep? No. Step. Fade out. See, this will only be 5 frames, so. Patiently waiting on the dono feature. Well, I mean, it's on YouTube to give it to me. I gotta hit some requirements, so. YouTube and Twitch. Twitch, it was looking pretty good yesterday because I had managed to average 3 viewers. It was like 3.2 viewers for the whole stream on Twitch yesterday, which was pretty cool. The requirements is I have to have an average of 3 viewers across 4 streams on Twitch, along with streaming 4 days and for so many hours. And then for YouTube, I need to hit... Actually, you know, I'll look right now and see what it says that I need to do. YouTube Studio... earn... Let's see. Memberships, super chats, and shopping. So I have enough subscribers, I have enough video uploads, but I do need 3,000 hours of public watch hours in the last 365 days, or 3 million valid public shorts views in the last 90 days. So what would happen if you watch the stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time? I would get viewership on both platforms. Basically. Though, pro tip, if you are going to watch on Twitch and you're just going to lurk, don't actually mute the playhead, like the actual player, just mute the tab. Because if the volume, I've heard this from a few other streamers, if the volume of the stream player, like on YouTube, you know, you can go to the little volume adjuster thing. If that is set to like less than 10%, Twitch will not count you as a viewer, apparently. So I like to do that if I'm like, if I want to like support a streamer, but I can't actively sit and watch or listen at the time for whatever reason, I'll just mute the tab instead of muting the stream. So I still count as a viewer, albeit a lurker, but you know, it's little tiny things. But my goal, I have a goal this year to get monetized somehow on both platforms. Oh, I didn't set my cutscene state. Whoopsie. Go back up. Because I feel like that's definitely doable. I've got some plans to ideally put that into motion. One thing I've been cooking up, and you guys will probably see this soonish, is I'm planning on writing a bunch of scripts for shorts, and then I'm going to record and edit like all of those and then have them go up consistently every single day for like I'm gonna aim for 3 months. I've heard 3 months is like a kind of like a maybe not a maybe sweet spot isn't the word, but is a good way to tell the algorithm that, hey, you know, I'm not going anywhere, so we're gonna start suggesting your stuff to other people, right? That's the idea. I've seen a few different creators, like, and not like, it's not like huge creators either. Like, they showed the analytics and everything. It's like, this is what worked for me. It might work for you. You might have some luck with it. I was like, you know, what do I lose by trying that? Right? You know, worst case scenario, I have 90 days worth of content that I've posted for my already existing community, right? That's the worst case scenario. And even then, that it's not like that's bad, right? So, MC still in his own vision. He must have an impressive mirror behind you to do that. Yeah, I don't know why he's actually showing up. I don't know, because it's like, okay, player alpha 0, right? Yui, player alpha 1. Okay. So here's the blink stuff happening. I mean, I guess I'll double up on it. Maybe the scene's just being hateful. Just put this down here. Hey, with him, do this. You know, if this... Am I just gonna have to, like, crack open the thing? What is causing him to not do this? Is it the state he's in? We'll just see. Let's just run it one more time and see how it looks. But yeah, I do want to like just start posting short form content, so a little bit more, because it can only benefit the channel, you know, can only really benefit it. So on top of that, like, I do have a few ideas for making like the channel more like active, I guess. Oh, whoops. So obviously I need to do some more dev update videos, right? Oh, see, now he's gone. There he is. Now he shows up. I do want to do some more dev update videos, of course. I have one idea cooking in my mind that would basically be like a, you know, LOL development hell and how you can get out of it. Like just like not really just a, hey, this is where Angels and Demons as a game is right now, but also a, like, here's how you can avoid the same problems that I've ran into, right? Something like that, like going over like, okay, well, I used to do this. This is the problem I ran into. This is how I fixed it. This is how maybe you could fix it too if you so desire. Something like that, right? There's also, like, I have this idea for an interactive stream game too. And I don't know how familiar any of you guys would be with Scott Falco, but he's another YouTuber. He's actually the guy that made the tutorial for how my my ToonTuber here functions and everything like that. So he's a pretty chill guy. I don't watch his content anymore. I just kind of fell out of it, but you know, he like pioneered this like ToonTuber kind of style that I use, and I was like, you know, that's cool. That's cool. I want to do something like that. And he used to do a interactive stream game called Run HP, and his mascot Cyborg Chan, or CC as they call him, like would hinder, like you'd use her to like roll gotcha to hinder the stream and stuff like that. And I thought it was cool, right? And I was like, I could probably do something like that myself. So let me actually share the grand vision that I have for this here, all right? Because I think it would actually be pretty cool. So the idea is that you would have, like, okay, so say, you know, hello, hi, here's me, the VTuber, the ToonTuber, whatever you want to call me, right? But instead of it just being me, we also have like Yui and Imp Yui floating around here, right? Just floating around, like just doing things, like maybe they will react to certain chat messages or whatever. And every few minutes, there will be like an either or option come up on the screen. And people in chat would be able to vote, like, okay, what option, what outcome do we want to affect the stream, right? Like, and this could be something where it's like, okay, I have like HP, and if I run out of HP, I have to die in game, and if I run out of lives after the fact, then I have to restart whatever playthrough I'm doing. Something like that, or maybe like, oh, random Kaguya event, and now the whole stream is like got a CRT filter or something like that. I have some ideas for it. I don't want to directly rip off Scott Falco's thing though, but I do think that that would be a fun thing to do for streams. That way there's like chat has more area to interact and do things regarding the stream and everything. But it would be a lot of work. It would mostly be a lot of work in animation, but because I would want to like animate the different effects happening. Like if it's a positive effect, then like Yui would do something to me, and if it's a negative effect, Imp Yui would do something, and I'd have to make a few of those and have it show up and everything. But I think it's a great way to like get some interaction going and, you know, keep the streams engaging. It wouldn't be something I do with game dev streams or anything like that, but rather for certain gaming streams, like, oh, maybe today I'm playing through Super Mario World, but chat gets to help or hinder, and it's like 96 exit, not just like any percent or anything like that. And just see how it goes. Like, I'm sure there's some things that could be done for it, but like I said, would take quite a bit of work to get it rolling, methinks. I'm gonna set these actually to 16 pixels, I think. And then let's see. Let's just do this. Oh, I have it backwards. Wait. X is greater. We're facing that way. Whoops. Squid has attacked the stream. Imp Yui destroys highest messages, and Yui makes the bottom ones. Isn't that creative? The idea is it'd be like just stuff that directly affects me playing the game. And then there'd be like some just purely cosmetic ones that maybe Kaguya shows up for. I'd like to somehow include like all of the Angels and Demons characters. Like, you know, there'd be some silly ones like, oh, maybe there's one event that would be like, oh, I go Shigaraki mode for a little bit, right? Like change out the Toon Tuber's costume. Just go for that. And like that could be like Kaguya could affect the visuals. Like maybe if there's a Hector related event, then he puts like the clone filter over the VTuber, so it's like that cyan blue kind of color, that salvelatinium color. Hector event in stream, heck no. Rare 0.01% chance MPUE event, I have to end stream. But knowing how chat typically goes about things when they get control over the outcome, like that would be what gets voted for, is end stream, and that'd be so troll. Now let's see here. How is this looking? I know I need to change that portrait there at the start. So, well, I was walking home as usual. Then there was this weird thing that tried to attack me. This still has the line breaks from where this was a timed cutscene. Yui, why are you turning your back still? What the heck? Hold on. Hold up. Did I replace? Okay, hold on. No, wait, there's two different blocks where she does this. Okay. Okay. About to say, like, what are we doing? Like, would you look at him when he's talking? Journoid event kills MPUE. Stream starts, stream ends. I mean, yeah, that'd be my luck, honestly. Yeah, I do need to make the camera go down a little bit, I think. I don't have a lot of... Actually, wait. I know what I need to do. Let's, let me first close out the game. I need to go to the scene where he jumps. Where does he jump at? This one. And we're going to actually camera set size. We're going to increase the camera size a little bit. And we're going to set our Y to be a little bit higher up. See how that works. Yui's gonna look the right direction. While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go up to where this text box gets triggered. And this is not the right emotion. Why did I ever put 12 there? That's a thinking. It needs to be 11. That's why I did it. If there's an imp Yui, is there an imp red-haired guy? Is there an imp MC? I technically can't really answer that question, I guess. I'm not going to say that there is, but like the concept could exist, I guess. I mean, I can't really go into detail about that without it being like crazy spoilers, but an imp MC as a concept could exist by technicality. Now let's see how this looks. Solely by technicality. That does not mean that it's something that will happen, for the record. Oh, are you well? You had quite the fall. Huh? Whoa. Would you care to explain what happened? Well, I was walking home as usual. There was this weird thing that tried to attack me. Started running away, then boom, something fell from the sky and knocked me off the cliff. Wait, who are you? What are you doing in a place like this anyways? And she turned her back again. Oh, my apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Yui, your guardian angel. We guardian angels are sent to tend to the living in very dire situations. That being said, it does not appear that you will be able to make it out of this cave on your own. I will lend you my aid. Once you are safe, I will depart from you. So, how exactly are we going to get out of here? Excellent question. You can make use of my angelic abilities. Move onwards, and we shall work together to traverse this cave system. Hey, why are we jumping, though? Hold arrow down, that's not right, to initiate a dash, and release arrow down to move in the direction you're aiming. Well, that's not correct. What's next? Perform a high jump by dashing upwards while grounded, or just don't even do anything. You name the dash in the 8 cardinal directions. Use different directions to get the most out of each dash. You got it. And what's next? Anything else? Nope. Like, assume you know what you're doing. Heck yeah. Should the camera zoom back in when it focuses on Yui for her introduction? It doesn't feel like MC's vision while it's still zoomed out. It probably actually should. It probably actually should. The only thing I will need to, like, resize it out too, because when she goes winged mode and then floats up, she goes behind the text box, and I don't like how that looks. So that's one thing I will need to do. But like I was talking yesterday, I wanted to make this cutscene seamless, so that way it doesn't have, like, the transitions and stuff between there. And I'm already liking how it feels, like, just going straight into the gameplay afterwards. That's how I want a lot of these cutscenes to end up. So what I'm thinking for the next one, and I'll actually, because I was smart and made them, like, technically backwards compatible. If I go forwards here and just continue on to the next area here. I also added a shmoove route in the, oh, lol. A shmoove route in the music synced room there, because I got tired of getting not soft locked, but, like, just not getting a good cycle. Oh, never mind. Never mind. The game's gonna crash. LOL. In the next cutscene, I kind of want it to seamlessly go into the battle. Like, just the scene ends and the battle starts immediately. Game dev doing game dev things, I see. This is true. This is true. I need to go fix Yui turning her back again, so let's see. Get this. This. And then, yeah, she did have one more. Swag route, let's go. This is true. I like adding the swag routes. Okay, so let's see here. Actually, I don't think I want that there, but let's go on this one, and we will camera set size 240, 135, camera set. Actually, we'll do x equals ui.x, y is ui.y plus, no, minus, like, 24. And then camera set position, x, y. And then on this one, once Yui goes into human mode, we will do an extra thing here. We're going to set our y to ui.y minus 48, camera approach size 70. No, we'll do this actually when she does this here. And we'll make this just the center point. Yeah. Okay. Routes that allow players to speed through if they know the tech is very fun, and something Pizza Tower excels at. Yeah, that's actually part of the reason why I include some of these, because I might have overdone it a little bit in Demo 4, you know, adding in the shmoove routes, because a lot of the rooms you could just skip by going over it, and that kind of felt lame. So some of them I wanted to actually, I wanted to just, like, make you have to play through the room, like, utilize the movement in a way that's different from just jumping over everything and then going in a straight line. But for some of these that are just like cycle checks, I guess, like I kind of don't know if I want to keep the one that's in the music tutorial room, because there is the possibility that a new player could accidentally skip it and then they don't get the proper introduction to the music synced objects. Might hop off soon, need to go to bed. Early good night. Well, have a good night, Vexility. And I hope you have a good sleep. Let's see how this looks now. Doing the thing, doing the thing. What? Allow me to introduce myself. You are your guardian angel. Yeah, okay. Let me see that. The only other thing is now in this last text box, she needs to not be talking when he's talking, and they need to kind of change animations. That's the only thing that is left here, I believe. And then fixing that, like where MC jumps after the fact. That's just like an input consumption thing, so... School's a thing. Last 2 hours of school got canceled. I see, I see. I gotcha. Yeah, I think you might have mentioned that in the Discord. Oh, and then I need to fix this thing here where it says hold arrow down, which is not true at all. So I'll do that real quick, actually. That is just in here. Okay, so this needs to be hold. This to initiate a dash. Hold blank to initiate a dash. And release dash to move in the direction you're aiming. Okay, yeah, that fixes that. So that's fine. Hold numpad 5 to jump. Heck no, bro. Go back in here. Go to this last scene here. I'll actually say input verb consume all. And we'll also just say, just for safety's sake, that hey, jump is not true, so we don't jump. And I'll go into this and add a text box check. This is true. Oh, did you guys notice? I think we don't have to deal with like the keyboard getting like picked up by the microphone anymore. See, I just like ASDF'd a ton, like, and I was like striking those keys. So now I'm not talking by the keyboard anymore. You know, one other thing that makes me, it specifically makes me think of the Impui no-hit stream. Because that was like one of the bits that were in that stream. I was thinking, I'm trying to think of like what I want to do for Demoversary, since that is coming up relatively soon. Demoversary, let me double check in my calendar here, is February 19th. So that day is a Thursday. I don't know specifically if I will be able to stream that day just yet, because that's a little while out. But I don't know what to do. I thought about like maybe like doing another challenge, doing another Angels and Demons challenge thing, but I'm not really sure what it would be, because I've already determined that, like, a can you beat angels and demons with only one of the characters thing would be kind of lame, honestly. Like, yeah, more than likely possible, but it's only going to be MC that makes it possible in Demo 4. All the other characters get soft-locked in the desert when you learn the spike. So... I need to actually probably add in a key for this. Alright, good night, Vexility. Thanks for hopping in. Hope you enjoyed stream. We'll do this at image speed 1, and take Yui here. We'll just, I mean, she doesn't, well, she actually doesn't need hers updated. And then for the rest of them, actually, we'll just default case this. For the default, which is every other one, we will make main character not animate, set his image index to 0, and then go to Yui, and we're going to say set your sprite to val, SBR, fly, talk, down. Yep. Fly, talk, down. That's all we need to do. We should do that. And then when everything is said and done, let's see here. I'm just gonna optimize some things a smidge. What was the other thing? Set image speed 1, just in case. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. These can stay. This can stay right here. UE human is false earlier in there too, I believe, but I'm gonna double check this. Because that should be set right here when she actually goes angel mode. Yup. Okay. Check it. Ah, the new title theme is playing. I'm actually really happy with how the new title screen looks. Honestly, like it turned out really good. I'm pretty happy with it. Aside from like just like 2 tiny little things I still need to fix with it, like Kaguya's animations. Uh-oh, where'd I screw that up at? What line is that? 538? Didn't put a comma. But aside from Kaguya having like some crazy smear frames that she gets stuck on, like that, and just a little bit of the movement in the final scenes, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I think it's really neat. Plus, with feedback from members of the community, it also now has the possibility to it'll change depending on where the last save file happened at. So I have some cases set up for the desert, the canyon, the desert cathedral, and sort of the vomitorium, but LOL. The vomitorium's unfinished at the moment. Anyways, so I can't really set it up properly in the title screen, but He's still Why are we jumping, bro? Wait, actually, you know, I bet I know what it is. It's not jump, it's jump pressed and might need to do something slightly different here. Let me think with my mind here. Because I know what this is. It's where I'm using a newer version of like the input library, and it sometimes likes to carry inputs over when it shouldn't. So blue jump pressed is false. I need to, let me check here. Try, what is try jump? Try jump? Yeah. Let's see, jump, buffer, timer. This is what I need to find. How did I do this actually? Right here, okay. Where? Show me, please. And then we actually have to look. It's greater than 0. So we'll just make this jump, buffer, timer equals -1. That's all we need to do. That should fix it. Should is the keyword. So let's try that. And then the next test will just be, and I'll actually go in here. And I need to find specifically this Chapeltown environment. Why are we being weird here? Type is -1. If this is -1, then it should do this, I think. I'll have to fact check that. But anyways, let's test this out, see how it do. Ugh. Well, you had quite the fall. I mean, I should be. Wink. Okay. Wait, other than Yui just, like, snapping there to him for a second, like, that's just a minor thing. I think that's it. Hold space to initiate, release to move in the direction you're aiming. All right. Boom. We are done with the Meet Yui cutscene, methinks. So let's actually now, let's run through from the beginning and see how that looks. Just right out of the gate, we'll go into start out the game. See how it looks. Oh, whoops. I forgot about the background movement thing. That's LOL. We need to fix that with the title cutscene. Let me actually... Okay, I'm going to do that first. OBJ title. This in here. And we will global.bg move is false. Global.camera. Scroll X speed is 0 and 2 is 0 as well. Do that. That should stop that. And then I guess while I'm at it, Chapel Town environment. Let me check this out. Because I think, like, this is the same thing happening here, but why is it different? So this just does the lighting. This actually doesn't affect the backgrounds. So... I could also make this slightly faster. I could do like a loop unroll optimization, because this is always going to be whatever size it is here. Well, I don't know. I'll have to walk through it and see why it's not properly depth sorting or changing the background state. It might be something in the actual thing here. But if I look ahead here, let me double check that right there. What are we doing here differently? Oh, we're just always setting it to sunset. That's not what I want to do. Well, I'm slightly learning why it's freaking out. Okay. Let's just walk through from the beginning, make sure that the backgrounds don't freak out. We still moving? You better not be. Okay. But yeah, they're just like, they're static, which is not right. Skip through this. We don't need to see that. We know this scene works. This one's also moved to the new system as well. Fun fact. The new cutscene system. Oh, it looks so strange with it just being plastered on. It reminds me of Demo 1. So, essentially, just need to make sure that this scene transitions into the next one properly, even if the background is kind of LOL right now. Because see, it's definitely meant to be in a darker environment, because that scene is predetermined kind of thing. Like, it's not a sequence, but it's something that's like, it's always going to be that. Let's see if it works. It does not work. Okay, why does it not work? Our story progression is 2, and it doesn't need to be. But our camera got set. Hold on. To pause the music to turn the audio up in here. Oh yeah, that's true. There is actually a unique track for that scene. That plays. You just couldn't hear it because of the music. I guess we'll actually just set this like this. We'll set it to -1 and see if that just does anything. I mean, I don't know what I changed. Unless it just really doesn't like the fact that I am doing this. I mean, I could... Sure, whatever. Try it. We'll see. Game Maker is weird sometimes. We'll just make it a for loop. Eyes are I equals 0. I is less than array length. Title array. ++. And that might change it. Do the same here. 4 or I equals 0, less than this, I plus plus. I've had a few scenarios where it just like, it's like, why are you doing that? Like, we're just going to not work. That's the only thing I can think of, because this is where that would happen. Otherwise, I've just misconfigured something inside the camera object while doing some testing. Oh. Well, yeah. Maybe I did. Maybe it should actually be pointing to the global variable instead of that, so. Okay, that tells me actually a lot of information, so we'll keep my optimizations then. We'll keep those there and make sure that it works. It would help. It definitely would. And we'll relaunch and we'll see, double check and see now that I've set it to check just for the game time. If that area actually, okay, so these animate right, but I need to make sure that the time of day works properly. Okay, now see the background looks different. It moves separate from the foreground. There's actually some depth to it. That's such a big difference. Okay, so cut the yap. And then we will walk off. And yeah, there we go. Much better. I do need to replace that tree graphic that I was using. Like I said, it was just kind of like a test thing just to see how would it work. And see, now it's starting to get darker as we progress through here, which is kind of how I want it to do. So that way it's like, you know, it's past sunset. It's dark when we're here. And a lot more creepy. This one fits the vibe of the area we're in a lot more now. See how the colors match up now with everything else, so. We'll go ahead and I will increase the story progression by 1 point, and ideally that will make the UE one work because I forgot to change it, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so I need to set story progression up 1 more at the end of this at the previous scene, so that way this one starts properly. Walking, and then this, and then let me introduce myself, and I'm your guardian angel, and you can't make it out by yourself, and you get to use my angelic abilities, and we're good. Yes, all right. That is, in fact, motion. Wait a second. Where's the message? Well, message, it's like, hey, everything syncs with the music. Did you know? It's not here. That's interesting. Is my metronome not here either? No, it isn't. Okay, that's strange. More bugs. Oh, no. The message is on vacation. True. I actually don't even know if going that route there is even faster. It feels faster, but so there's that done. Let me actually go, let's smack that one off the list. I have a to-do list, essentially, like things that need to be done. So that one can be checked off. That's neat. Now, let me do a time check. What time is it? Only 3:40. I'm making good progress, I feel like. Heck yeah. Okay. I think I am going to swap us over here to our good old stretch break scene for a little bit. The info bar there. Let's move it over a smidge. Move that. We're gonna stretch break for a second. I am not in standing desk mode right now, but I do want to go grab me a drink because I'm all out and my throat's getting a little bit dry. So, if you've been sat for a little bit, now would be a great time to stand up and stretch. With that being said, I will be back in just a few moments. And I am back. Almost fell on my face during the stretch break. Oh no, that's not good. But I got me a blackberry Dr. Pepper. Not sponsored, but hey, sponsor me, Dr. Pepper. You know, maybe I might just like shoot a lob, send out like an email to Dr. Pepper corporate and be like, hey, would you be interested in sponsoring my content? Like, you know, just you know, send me a free case, send me a free case of Dr. Pepper or something every week or something, and I'll be like, hey, drink Dr. Pepper on stream. Like, I don't already do that. There's the Dr. Pepper. Now we know you're Journoid. This is true. So, I think the next thing, I guess, I don't know if I want to get, like, started immediately on to the next cutscene. Because I do kind of want to do some, I guess I need to technically because of, some bugs that are in it, but, I want to get the game in, like, a decently playable state here soon, specifically for the raid train that's supposed to take place this weekend. I want to be able to play through a good portion of Demo 5 and just kind of like show how the game is and like what's onto it, since I may or may not have a few extra eyes on the content. Which I think would be, you know, a decent idea to make sure things work. So, let's see here. What do I know? I know I do need to, I guess I technically do need to finish the tutorial fight cutscenes and actually make sure that the dialogue in that works, because I do know that it's broken. It's like, well, one, you can't even get into the cutscene because where I've migrated to this new system, it actually just crashes. Because it's like looking for a camera that doesn't exist, because it's like, oh, hey, look, we're going to do this. But little does it know, you can't do that because it automatically destroys cameras now. So I'm actually just going to say cam is equal to cam in case it uses anything. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to delete it. And I'm also going to get rid of these two because they don't need to be running those checks anyways. Let's do some things here. Let's, I'm going to have to actually think harder on this one because I don't want to use a I want to move away from like cutscene rooms. So like, you know, there's these three for meeting Yui, right? I don't need these anymore because, you know, just axed it. We use the tutorial room now. Doesn't even need to be there. So like these don't need to be in there either, but I don't even need that folder anymore because we don't use that. We don't use these either because that's just old and not used. Let's see. Is this used? This might still be used, maybe. Actually, no. I'll probably end up axing this too because I'll just use a room in Slurp for this scene. This is also good for optimization because it's not going to like it's gonna like decrease the file size and probably load times a little bit too. Sector event 1. This one actually is just like, this one can go. This one hasn't been used since demo 2, and you can tell. This one's, okay, we can get rid of that. These two, actually this one can go too because that one's not used, so we only need that one. This one not used. This one also not used. This one also not used. These can all go. These are used rooms. I know that. And then this is the next cutscene right here. Demon 1 through 5 and Demon Post 1 through 5. These are also cutscene rooms. So, ideally, what happens here is we just use this room instead, and maybe, so, there's a slight issue with this room specifically, like making this one the cutscene room. Because, you know, yeah, I can have them walk out of the cave here, and then Yui does like the, wait, hold on, stop, right? Look up ahead. And then, like, they could just be right here doing the demon summoning. But in my mind, I pictured them being more up here. But it also doesn't matter because, oh, hello. What are you doing there? You don't belong there. But in my mind, like, I imagine them up here, but that also doesn't make sense in context. So I'm just going to have to, I guess, place them here and have them do their cutscene-y stuff here on this little ledge. So that way, this is where the battle takes place and everything, and then after the fact, you're back in this room. The dudes, these guys. Dollar Store Light Yagami and Ryuzaki Death Note. These guys will just run off because they're like,
oh gosh, they whooped us. What the freak?
oh, I think voice focus might have filtered out my voice there a little bit. That's awesome. But anyways, they'd be up here. Those two dudes would be up here. And they do the demon summoning thing, sick the demon on them, the fight happens, and then they're like, okay, well, you're on our hit list, GG. And then they either run down here, or they just jump into the background. And then Yui's like, so, you know how I said something like, I'll help you get out of this cave, and then I will depart? Well, now you're in constant danger, because that's a cult, and they now want you dead. So they have, like, a hit on you. So that means I can stay with you, but also, we gotta put a stop to that, because that's, like, not good. We got to figure out what they're doing, because not only do they have a hit on you, but also Also, they're summoning demons, and that's not good. So that's kind of the motion. That's kind of the motion we're getting here. From Yui, is that this, like, she can stick around. She can stick around now because of that. That's like the whole reason for that, essentially. And it's a good reason too. I feel like, you know, having the in-universe equivalent of a doomsday, like, demon summoning cult, like, putting a hit on you is probably not good. I don't think you really want that. I don't think any person would want to have to deal with that, necessarily. So, this next scene, first, actually, we're gonna axe 10 rooms here. Because I'm near certain that all of these, like, and this is the other scene. Like, I put them on dirt, and it's like, where does this even happen at? It doesn't, right? And then see, this is a demo 4 cutscene. This one doesn't even exist anymore. But now it won't exist at all, because all of these, are you ready, folks? 10 assets. Nuked. Gone. That's optimization. Whoosh. 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 Heck yeah. Chopping block. There's a lot more of these too. Like, let's see. Like these post-chapter cutscenes, these will all be axed. These probably all be axed. Let's see. World 1 intro cutscene. Now this one's a unique case because, like, first of all, what is even going on here, right? You can't even tell what this one is. But this is a horse and a horse carriage, right? For the record. I want to redo this cutscene anyways because I'm realizing it slightly doesn't make sense to have this guy show up this early in. When he's already been clearly established to be in a specific spot. So what I'll actually end up doing is I had like a vision for this cutscene that's going to make it a little bit longer, but it's going to make it a lot cooler. I might just do that, you know, actually do what I put in my notes to do instead of just being like, this one might go faster. I need to quit cutting corners, essentially. But anyways, all that aside, there's a few of these, like this one was like a scene that existed, and then I just didn't use it because I changed the story a little bit, and then I determined that I didn't need it. So like going to the pastor's house for the first time, because you were going to go to his house, and now it's just not even used. That one's on the chopping block, but I might actually know the pastor's house is a room that exists. So, chop. It's gone. Kill. Essentially, what I want to do with this new cutscene system, since it can make all of them seamless, is if it takes place in an area, I want to use that area for it, right? So in this case, like this one specifically, like the one I'm going to work on next, it takes place here for the most part. I'll actually just do this here to kind of sell the idea of it's a thing that exists, and we can move this a smidge. Oh, hello, Gap. So, like, the fight with the tutorial demon will take place, like, right here. And that's, like, that should be consistent. So those guys should, like, hop off and, like, do their thing, and then Yui's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna stay with you, whatever. You'll go up a little bit. Small rhythm tutorial, because, oh, they ran off. They put a jinx on the door. So now you have to break it. They're, whatever. They're trying to waste your time, essentially. And then you go from there, you go in here, progress through, you end up here, you go here, you go inside the church, and then there's a cutscene there. There's actually quite a long cutscene there. Multiple, even. And that has this, which you can't actually see anything for this room, but I don't need the room, I don't think, technically. I can just, like, have this draw over the room and save some space here, because if I was to right now build an executable of the game, the file size is actually kind of big, and I don't like that. It's mostly audio, since all of the background music is stored in like a high quality-ish format. I wanted to I wanted to match what the industry standard is, and if I'm going to render everything out in a certain quality anyways, why not just go ahead and include it in the game, so that way, you know, it's a rhythm game. I want you to have the best audio experience that you can, right? So that's part of the reason. Like, I know if I go look at like the actual project file size, is going to say something like 2 gigabytes, but once it's all compiled down, it's not going to be that much. Anyways, I'm going to quit just running my mouth and actually try and do some work here. So let's get some information here for this one. We're going to need to, and I think the scene was actually this, but that's not what this is anymore. It was a cutscene where it's like, oh, the barrier, but like, barrier who? We'll just rename it to that, and I'll actually search for this. Okay, it has no references, which is good. So we'll go in here, and we need to find some things here. Oh, this is where I was adding that in, and then I never did, so we already have a case, so I will just make this this and say if our room is equal to RM mountain 5, then we will create at probably 34480, 34480, 34500, 34500, -1000, OBJ cut demon first. That's going to make our cutscene, and now we just do whatever we need for this. So let's first, we might need a draw event, so I'll pull one in here, and we will need, let's just go ahead and full screen this. Language file English. Split this over here, and actually, I just need to search the key here. What is it? Prologue, battle 1. Okay, so this is all of our information. I'm not going to do it like this because it's not going to be done in that way anymore. So, get rid of all this old stuff because we're going to need all of this extra info. And let's see. I'll leave this cutscene skip function as is. Disable portraits because we're going to make this text boxy cutscene, I guess. I want to try and keep them text boxy if I can. We're going to say that we use the playhead because I forgot to do this one for the Yui cutscene and then was just wondering, why is it not working? But that's why. And we'll start adding a scene, and I'll be smart about it. And we'll just have a time variable. So this T, this is going to be in seconds, and then I will just increment the time between. So if I want to add a new scene in between, I don't have to adjust the timing for every other one. I just have to say, hey, add this much time for the next one. So at the start, we are going to do some things. We're going to set, first I need to grab a player object. OBJ player, up here, what's our coordinates? 154, 540. That works for me. 154, 540. So we're going to, oh gosh, there's so much on my screen. First, we're gonna say MC is players char.mc, UI is players char.ui. Let me take this create event here and grab this info here and drop it in here. And I might need to do that first. Do that first. And we'll say, what will we say? Gotta think here for just a moment. Get a sip. Yo, Pico Pico Flower, welcome in. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? How's it going? What do I want to do for this specifically? I think I need to... We'll just actually do this. We'll use this to set camera. Camera, set position, our X and Y. And we'll just set, say, with MC. X is 154, our Y is 540. Set our VX and our VY. So we'll be outside of lockstep. Do the same thing with UE. Except do minus 48, minus 48. And we'll do T plus equals something. What will we do here? Oh, also set sprite SPR walk. Set sprite val SPR fly. UE doesn't have just a fly, so we need get player sprites. Slowly but surely. Where's our cutscene ones? Do that. And I'm going to take this and also give it to UE. I need to put it as a default, so just in case it's ever triggered somewhere, I have the failsafe and it doesn't crash the game. We have a think fly. We just need a regular fly. Do that. Fly, set image speed 1. Do the same here. Set image. Actually, no, wait. That'll be music synced. Because all walking animations. Another thing with these new cutscenes is since it uses the player object instead of just graphics, it will actually still keep music synchronization for walking and running animations, as well as like the little tick-tack, tick-tack, tick-tack kind of onomatopoeia that show up. So that's our initialization. I'll actually, let's say we'll make thrall 1 equal to instance create depth. And we need to see where's he gonna go? I have an asset layer just to drop him in here. Not that. I hate this little window. I don't know what it's used for. I need this guy. He's gonna go at depth 600. And then we'll do 992 992 416 992 416 600. Actually, this needs to be 500 because that'll adjust the depth when I delete that layer. And we will need to give him some info. We'll just define him first. That for a second. Thrall 2 stays him because I want to keep him sequential. So let's flip him here. 896? No, 864. 864, 1024, and I'm just gonna actually remove that bush there and the flower just to make this scene look a little bit better. Do need to move them. So 864, 1024, 864, 1024, 864. Okay. So this is actually, no, I will reverse these just because of the file names. Because that'll confuse me if I don't. We'll do this. Just put them down here for sake of sprite index SPR chapel raw 1 idle, and you will also need to be No, you will need to be changed. What the one? They face, yeah. Image, X scale, -1. And comma. I want them to face each other. And we'll do... What OST is playing right now? This is Toast Arena Ruins from Super Mario Odyssey. I need to get a different object here. Where is this thing? What's your sprite? Wrathling. No, that's not what he's called anymore. Probably like right here. 948, 384. 948, 384. 948, 384. 500. Scene. Puppet. Oh, I didn't actually say this is a cutscene puppet, did I? Whoops. Probably should do that. That'd be helpful. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? Nah. Would genuinely recommend the OST, though. I've had a lot of OST recommendations. Honestly, I just have not actually engaged with a lot of them. If it's not like Mario or so a few select Sonic games, I don't touch it 90% of the time. I need to change that. No, I might actually... Let's see. Oh no, this is also a cutscene synced thing. That's good. That helps me out a lot. I did actually think and make these good. Semi-hot take, but the Sonic franchise has the best OST in gaming. I mean, I'm not gonna agree, but I'm going to say I understand where you're coming from. Like, to say it has the best is probably, you know, at best a matter of opinion. Because, I mean, if you want to get technical about it, like, the real best OST in gaming would probably be a game like Smash. Because Smash is a franchise, but it is pulling from a lot of other games. But that would technically make it the best, because it doesn't matter what you think is great. There's probably going to be a track in there that you like, you know? The egg! Yo, what's up? Yo, what up? Yo, what up? Mod in chat. Heck yeah. I am cooking up cutscenes. And sipping a blackberry Dr. Pepper. Doing dev stuff. That's, of course, always. When am I not doing dev stuff? So I'm actually going to also camera set size. We'll make the camera smaller because we don't want to see these guys just yet. So we'll say that we're just going to make this like 0.01, this next scene. We have our initialization scene. And we're going to add the time. And then get this man a true. I don't think we need an initializer here, so we'll just -1, and say, hey, this is what we're going to do outside the loop. MC, we're going to say your X is going to... Actually, hold up. We'll do XX equals... We're getting a cutscene with the president distractors. I like how every time the profane denomination gag shows up, it gets more and more butchered to where it's like the words don't even resemble like the original phrase anymore. Do 154 plus, how far do we want him to walk ahead? Probably to about 430. So actually, I'm just gonna, what is that gonna be? 430 minus 154 is 276. We'll just say 270. So 270 times get scene Tom, and we will do play position. This is true. You probably are the most dedicated to the bit. To the point that the bit gets like a subtle nod in game in the dialogue. Like, I think that's like worth something there. Like, in the first cutscene with the profane denomination, Thrallengard, yeah, he's like, "Good evening. You've reached the propane depreciation hotline. Our goal is a greener, more eco-friendly world." Because, you know, I don't think profane denomination's gonna have like a, like they gotta have a front, even if it's like LOL, you know, so that way if someone does call them and they're not just like spilling beans. Please press 1 to speak to a representative, or 2 to connect via a party's identification code. You know, so, you know, speak to a representative, just get put on hold forever. Press 2 to connect via identification code, and then it's just like, oh, they input the password, and it's like, okay, hi, yeah, what up? For the record, there's a slight reason that it even exists in the game, but I think it's funny. There's a few community things that have made it in, like community gags, like loss.jpg. Like if I name, like when I asked a week or two ago about like naming Easter eggs, I did add a few more in. So if you name yourself Loss, the message is just .jpg. I know that the intent was just to put like the graphic of like the bars up there, but that'd be like the most. I'd have to have a sprite for it, so don't have that. But I did put a subtle nod. If you name the character just A, just a single A, it's like, is it really worth the extra saved frames? What is loss? Now, okay. This is a double-edged sword, because like that's part of the bit. Like, is this loss? What is loss? Like, that's part of the gag, but essentially, and explaining it is going to make it sound not funny at all. But essentially, there's this webcomic called Control-Alt-Delete, right? And it was basically just made for like funny, right? Just poking fun at like gamer culture and stuff like that. A very early internet webcomic. And then the guy who was making the webcomic decided, actually, you know, I'm feeling pretty serious today. And he makes the protagonist of the story, he makes his like partner, wife, girlfriend, something or another, have a miscarriage, and titled the comic loss.jpg. And it kind of became like a gag, because it's like, it does not fit inside of the context of the webcomic at all. Like, to make it all funny all the time, and then, oh wait, I'm gonna make it serious at one point. When you have like animated shorts that go along with it on September 11th, where the main character busts into the door of a GameStop and says, "Mark this day in the history books, for today, Lego Star Wars 2 hits the shelves. Barry, I believe you have a copy of Lego Star Wars for me." Or something like that, right? And it's like, oh, random miscarriage? Yeah. This is great for my silly comedic webcomic, right? So it became a gag, and what people would do is they would hide, or like they would see something that vaguely resembles the silhouettes of the panels, the characters in the panels. So, you know, I'm gonna zoom it in here to give an example, right? So like, he opens the door, that's panel 1. Panel 2, there's 2 people standing there, right? He's talking at the front desk. Panel 3, there's 2 more people. And now, technically, I can't really convey this one properly. I kind of can, maybe. Maybe I can use a capital L? No, doesn't show up good in the font. So we'll do this. Just pretend that one of these is smaller and one's taller, and then it's the opposite for this one. And then The next one, let me like tab it here so it's lined up like this. This is loss in its most bare form. That is loss right there. So, me being me, I keep the gag running a little bit. There are a few instances in the game where this gag is hidden. So, one of those, and I don't remember if it was intentional or if it was unintentional or what, but if I actually go to this sprite of main character, oh, look at that. 1 line, 2 lines, different sizes, 2 lines, different sizes, 1 line up, 1 line flat. So, yeah, there's a few of them hidden in there. Some very subtle ones, some apparent ones that you'll be able to come across. But I am keeping track of the ones that I intentionally add. All right? I'm keeping track of the intentional additions of lost.jpg to this game. And I might do something for the first person who's able to find all of them once the game is finished. Or maybe all of the demo 5 ones at the very least. Because there's a few. Actually, let me look. Let me open the document and just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 8. There are currently 8 hidden in the game, and main character's hair is one of them. And, you know, other than main character's hair, there has been at least one more that has been on stream today. One that has shown up on screen, all right? It's there, and it's very subtle, and it has shown up on the stream today. So, I won't say where, but... So, just for the record. I need to grab a thing from this. Is that minus? That's minus. Okay, we'll do minus this, and this just needs to be like 5, and 2. Yo, Reina, welcome in, welcome in. You have managed to catch a stream. And with time to spare, too, because I still got like 40 minutes. How cool is that? So this scene should have our characters walk forward for the duration of this scene, and when they reach the end of it, it's gonna like do some things. So add scene. Actually, how long do we want them to walk for? Let's say 2.5 seconds. And then let's see here. I need to like move my microphone up just a little bit. I keep bumping the mic cord. It's like right above my spacebar. So this scene that I'm working on right now, I will reiterate just in case there's some lurkers in to see what we're doing. I am currently going through and migrating all of the cutscenes to this new timing-based system that will allow for a lot more flexibility and keeping things consistent, keeping things seamless and snappy, and just feeling good in general. So part of that has been like just starting from the beginning and going through the different cutscenes. We are currently on the scene before the tutorial fight. So I'm dev-splaining. This is perfect. All right. So essentially, this new cutscene system is based off of time. I give it a time for that the scene will begin, and then each subsequent scene will add to that time and go on. You have 3 different functions that can happen. One when the scene first begins, one that is locked into the step of the scene, so it will happen 60 times a second, and one that happens outside of the cutscene loop. This allows for various things to happen. This could be like, hey, set up this scene, and then have this sync with the music or sync with the time going through, and then have this one just do things for smooth movement or whatever, right? Like if a character's walking and you want it to look smooth instead of choppy, that one goes here. It also allows for a few other things. It's a little bit more optimal. It doesn't use Game Maker's sequence-based cutscenes, which have been notorious for desyncing and just not playing well on slower devices, which I don't like because I want Angels and Demons to be accessible to people playing on potatoes. So, on top of like just being probably more efficient, easier to work with, I think, because I like to write code, and looking better, like, I don't know where I was going with this, but basically it's good. I just have to migrate scenes over to it and make sure that they work properly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking a cutscene and making it out of code instead of putting it on like an animation timeline. That's the TLDL, too long didn't listen. If that makes sense. Yeah, potato is the benchmark. If you're running it on a tomato, then you might be out of luck, unfortunately. I can't promise compatibility for tomatoes or for bricks. Though my current benchmark for performance is just my old laptop and running it at 4K on a TV upstairs. So as long as the game can maintain on my like dinky little laptop, as long as it can hold 60 FPS consistently at 4K and not have any problems, I think that's a win. Because that sucker doesn't have a dedicated GPU. It only has like integrated graphics. It's AMD, it's not Intel, so, you know, I mean, Intel people might just be, you know, out of luck. Because, like, I'm an Intel hater, but that's just me. That's just me. So I think we're going to have him walk forward for this amount of time. And then what I will do is we're going to trigger a text box. So we need text equals, and we're going to take these 2 keys from here. These 2 things. So we'll say our speaker is global.ue, and then raw1. Our emo is, what is our emotion? How is Yui feeling for this? She's gonna be like surprised. Like she's gonna be like, oh, how shocked. 4. She's gonna be a 4 here. 4. And this one, I don't have portraits for these, so I think -1. Also, now that you bring that up, how would a dev be able to test if their game runs on low-spec PCs if their PC is really dang good? Answer is probably really simple, but I always wondered that. So, I mean, the simplest answer is actually just to get a really bad hardware PC, you know, like just get something that's a dirt quality PC, and then work your way up. Just like have a lot of hardware to work with, which I do technically. If I wanted to throw together some old towers, I have a lot of old PC parts. I've actually, you know, so my buddy Gabe actually got me a rack mounted server with dual Intel Xeon processors. All right, it's older, so it's like, it's still kind of like, is it amazing? Like, no, it's not nothing crazy, but it's still a server. It has 2 processors in it. And we stuck an old NVIDIA GT 710 graphics card into that sucker, and I was running Angels and Demons on it, and it worked just fine. You know, which I would hope so if you have a server grade processor in it, right? But there's other options too. You could try running a virtual machine and just like limiting the speed of it. That's also an option, I would say, though that one can be finicky because then you got to know your way around virtual machines and make sure, hey, is it doing graphics card pass-through? Or are we making it just do software rendering? It's honestly easier just to like hop down to like a thrift store or something and try and just snag like an old tower or laptop or something, or try and bag a cheap ThinkPad or something off of eBay and just put it over there. But there's methods. It's essentially just trying to find a way to bottleneck your PC. Like you could also, and I wouldn't recommend this, like, because it's going to be sketchy at best on how accurate your readings are, but you could always just like run more games at the same time, or like run a stress test and just see how it works when it's trying to compete for resources and stuff. Because like I do have a tank of a computer, all right? My computer is actually kind of crazy, and I'm incredibly thankful for it. But I actually, when I was testing multiplayer for Demo 4, I had 20 instances of the game open at one point, testing it. And that it ran poorly. It ran at like 15 frames a second tops, right? All the individual ones. And I was also running the server too. But I also tested it with like 5, and I was able to do that. But realistically, the best option is just to try and grab some old hardware and go from there. Honestly, that's like what I would recommend. And if that's not a possibility and you do have a good computer, but for some reason getting like a less than powerful one is not feasible, you could always try like a virtual machine through like VMware, or if you're running like Linux, it could be something that supports GPU pass-through. Like I think it's called QEMU. I think I might be wrong. 15 instances, game struggles. Angels and Demons sucks. It stinks. This is true. If you can't run like 1 billion instances of the game, like why even bother? So this is going to, we're going to just create this text box. Text event, text speaker emotion. This should work, methinks. We'll do this, and in this function we will, actually I'm going to need to do some things for Yui. I mean, you technically could run Persona 5S at the same time if you wanted to. You just have to hope your computer can do that, I guess. Buzz? Hold up, I got a text message. What the heck? You know it's an important one because I have Do Not Disturb on, so that means someone is not on, or is on my favorite contacts list. Yippee! How can I enjoy this indie game? Where's my 10 trillion instances being ran at the same time? I'm saying, like, that's how I'll be with some games, actually. All right, so let's see here. I accidentally left my keys inside of my girlfriend's car, so she has to swing by and drop them off, which was kind of LOL. My house keys specifically. We need to say, let's say val sbr fly halt. I'm just gonna add all of these keys in here. We're gonna bump these up. Fly halt. Whoops. flying stop. That's what this is, right? Yep, this is where she stops him. Okay. Do that. Set image speed 1 just in case. And we'll do the same thing for main character, but not flying halt. Just halt. So I know I have that one already in there. And that text box is going to trigger, and Yui is going to need to zip over to main character. So x plus equals t players char.mc. When Angels and Demons get finished, would you consider DLCs free or paid? Yes, actually, I would consider it. And it really just depends on, like, specifically, what I don't include in the final game, honestly. Because, I know I've talked about it on stream before. I have been floating the idea in my mind of a hard mode starring Kaguya. And, that would be something that could be like post-launch update. Think like the Noise Pizza Tower update. Though I'm not sure, because it'd be a lot of stuff. Like, it would be an entire extra campaign. I don't necessarily know if it would be free. It really just kind of depends, because I already have kind of an idea for what I want to do for it, and it's something that would just expand on the Angels and Demons universe a little bit more. The idea would just be, you know, post-events of the game, Kaguya gets involved in some stuff, basically, and has to revisit, like, a lot of the areas that you went through in the main game, but, like, some really dangerous areas, and it would be hard, alright? It would be difficult. When I say hard mode, I mean hard mode, okay? I mean difficult. We're talking like freaking Kaizo Mario, alright? Kaizo Mario, you're getting invisible blocks, you're doing shell jumps, you're gonna have a new gimmick each level that you gotta learn, or something, right? And that's the kind of lock-in I want for this, because, like, you know, I started, when I first started making this game, I was like, yeah, I'm making it for myself, primarily. I'm gonna make it a little bit more difficult, but then, like, you know, a lot of people didn't really vibe for that. They didn't really vibe with that because it was like, it was too difficult. So, you say, now watch as the first boss gets prayer for victory. However, Kaguya does not have a soul. She can't pray. So, you get locked out of that. You can't do it. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So, prayer for victory? Nah. The prayer would be replaced with something else. Like, maybe she beams, like, a church live stream or something like that, and it just gets, like, a cycle. You know, like, the first time you do it, it's a buff to attack. Second time, buff to defense. Second or third, buff to speed, and just so on, and it goes in a loop or something. I don't know. But the idea is hard mode, starring Kaguya, and, if I do it, it's gonna be difficult. I mean hard mode, alright? Something that will give me a challenge. Someone who has been playing this game for longer than any other soul, alright? Me with my suspiciously cheat code-shaped prayer button. True. True. I mean, I could always do what Doom does, and then, make it like where there's difficulty options that you can pick, and you know, the easy option is just like, you know, little babies, made for little babies. Like, I want the hard mode, but I actually want to be able to do the hard mode. So but then, like, the actual real lock-in difficulty would be like singularity or something like that. AI singularity for Kaguya, since she's a robot. Or something like that. She would at least have an ally. I haven't actually planned it out too much. If she did have an ally, it would probably... I don't know if it would be any of the main cast that exists right now. If anyone, it would be Autumn. and I would still kind of want to bump it up to 5 characters too. So it might be some other characters that I originally floated for protagonists or something that would slot into these areas. I don't know, because I want it to be a Kaguya focus, kind of following her whole, like, hey, you know, she's like a robot built to do dangerous things that humans shouldn't really be doing necessarily. I kind of want it to fit into that, so any allies that tag along with her might just be temporary allies at best, right? So depending on the area, like, let's say, for example, World 1, Chapter 1, whatever, you get Hector as your ally. Because, you know, Autumn doesn't like the heat. She's not going to go to the desert. But then, Chapter 2, you get Autumn. Chapter 3, you get a different character. And so on. Do Streets of Rage and make it so you can't beat the final boss of the game if you play on easy. Actually, I don't know if it's actually that game that does that. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is I don't want to, like, lock someone out. If I do a difficulty thing, I don't want to lock someone out of completing the game just because they chose to do it on easier. But I would probably do something like a rank, maybe. Think like Pizza Tower, Peppino's Final Judgment. Something like that, maybe. Would be better, I guess. Where you get, like, a rank based on how well you did, maybe. Like, obviously difficulty would factor into that, and how many game overs you had, how fast you completed each level, like, and not like how much time you spent on a level, but how fast your attempt took, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot to think about for it, and I want it to feel more snappy. Like, I don't know if it wouldn't be the same length of the main game. Let me say that. Right. It would be a lot shorter, but the time investment would be because the game is that much more difficult, right? And, you know, part of me wants to force you to play on a certain level of rhythm game difficulty, but, you know, that's already a point of contention in the game anyways, like, where people don't already want to do it, and it's led to some reworks with the rhythm game stuff anyways, because now, moving forward, you're not going to have, like, the full, like, you have to play the whole song kind of thing in the rhythm game. Instead, it's going to be more like, you're going to play small sections of it and create loops. Think like, I mean, if you're familiar with, like, FL Studio, just a pattern in FL Studio, I guess, but just, like, a short sequence of notes that you have to play, and you just have to hit all the notes in one go, or a certain amount of them, and then you'd have the loop set, and then you move to the next instrument, or something like that. That's how I'm migrating it over, so it's not, like, it's not snapping you out of the gameplay and taking you into this mini game that takes, at minimum, like, 2 minutes to finish, right? Because I think that breaks the flow of gameplay too much. What really tipped me off about it was, when I was editing the bingo video, and I just opted to cut the rhythm game out. So I was just like, yeah, there's something to be gleaned from that. Where you know, it's just not ideal. Yeah. So, like, when each person slides in the title, that would be, like, one pattern. So the that would be one loop, and you'd play the notes for that, and then that loop would be finished, and you could go move to the next instrument, right? So I'll drop the details here for, like, the World 1 rhythm game, basically, right? There's going to be a cutscene when you get back to the diner after visiting the train station and clearing that out and everything for Big Top. And he's going to be like, you know, I appreciate you getting the work done real quick. You know, here's your Big Top badge, you know, so y'all can go on past the desert and everything into the construction area. I trust y'all, but I'd also like to treat y'all to dinner. So, you know, I've told my manager, like, I got to dip, I got to head out, but your meal here is covered. y'all get this front row table. We're supposed to have dinner and a show here. We're about to have some live music, and I think y'all really enjoy it. So you get like sat down, and then there is no music, and he's like, the manager's like, well, if anyone knows how to play and would like to kind of come up here and throw us a bone, give us some help, we'll definitely make it worth your while, right? And then you get the option, you know, where it's like, it's definitely told like, hey, this is a thing you can do, but you don't have to do it, right? If you don't want to go fight the secret bosses or anything. But you'd go up on the stage, and you would start playing part of the rhythm game track, Newer Beginnings, I'm calling it now, because I found out there's actually already a synthwave song called New Beginnings by a very popular synthwave artist, so I'm freaking trolled there. LOL. Whatever, I got beat to the punch, I guess. Anyways, the song would start, and it'd kind of just be like the percussion, and then say you pick the keyboard, you'd start playing like the synth out for it, so the you'd play that out or something similar and go from there, and then move on to another instance of it, play the next, just basically build the song up with 3 different instruments, and then it would replace the background music for the duration of your stay in the diner or something like that. And then the manager would be like, oh, thank you for doing that. Here's you, we got this thing. This is kind of like it's pretty expensive. It used to be illegal. It's kind of like a thing around here. This hot sauce. Some guys many years back voted to have it outlawed for the area, but recently that law's been repealed, so you can have it. And you get the, in quotes, illegal hot sauce that Chet Archie was after, who also kind of hints like, hey, make a distraction so I can look for this, and then you get it anyways. And he's like,
Ah, cheese. Well, y'all beat me to it, I guess. I gots to get back to HQ, so see ya, ciao, bye-bye, whatever suits ya.
or something like that. So side tangent there about like how it's gonna go. That's the idea, is making it seamless and less of a time commitment and just more bite-sized. The same will be true for like in this room where you go up here, like this door will be jinxed and you have to play a song to break it. That's just going to seamlessly cut in from the overworld track that's playing, and you'll add some vocals on top, you'll play the keyboard, and it technically doesn't matter how well you do in it. But Yui will mention it. She'll mention, like, based on your rank here, it's like, okay, well, if you get an F, it's like, did you even try to play? I suppose my singing will suffice. But if you get an X rank, it's like, wow, that was a perfect performance. You really know what you're doing. And stuff like that. There's different dialogue for each one. You know, D rank, well, you tried, and that's what matters. No, I did say cheese. I did say cheese for Chet Archie. It's because he's mouse. Both would fit. Either or, to taste, whichever floats your boat. But yeah, Yui will comment based on how you perform with all of these. There's going to be more of these that show up, and I don't want to like shove the rhythm game down the player's throat, because like I know a lot of people just don't care for VSRGs like that, vertical scroll rhythm games, and I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to force it in, but I do want the player to get decent at it, because the rhythm attack style will still exist. But it's not going to be like, oh yeah, you picked easy difficulty at the start. Well, this is what you're doing now. It's just going to be like, instead, I think what the play is just to have like a overlay track, like where you play one of the instruments out and just try and go for that. So like, it's always going to be one bar of the song or something like that. Or maybe not one bar, but like 4 bars, just so it's a decent length. And it's just not going to occur that frequently either, because it's like, you know, the rhythm game is just there. Like, it's, as an attack style, it's not going to be that great if you encounter it all the time. You just got to kind of like expect it to show up in a few specific circumstances, right? Like, I'm not gonna say that no enemies will have it, right? But there will be a few enemies that will have rhythm attack styles, right? Very seldom, mostly bosses, and the occasional, like the only few overworld enemies that'll have them, like you'll know why they have them. They'll fit for the character, and it should be something to expect from them, right? But for certain boss fights or certain attacks, like Onslaught, yeah, expect rhythm to show up. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea I'm feeling. So, again, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. Guitarist with a rhythm attack. Yeah, he has the massive guitar, right? I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because that's another thing that is going to change going through into Demo 5 is, I want to actually introduce attack styles sooner in the game, because as it is now, like, you have dodge, defend, and freestyle through the prologue all the way through chapter 1, and you don't encounter new attack styles until you begin chapter 2. So I'm actually thinking of moving some new attack styles into chapter 1, and you'll begin encountering those as early as the Glutank fight. And then that will allow for some extra things, like I can bring a few more in. I think that'll help keep the game fresh and just really let me expand on some of the other enemies too, including Guitarist, because he could have a rhythm attack, right? It definitely fits him. I wanted to actually give him one in Demo 4's boss rush, but I didn't. Sip of Dr. Pepper. I got time check. It's 4:50, so I don't have a ton of time left to stream necessarily. Let's see. Hold on, I'm responding to some messages on my phone. Okay. Let's see. I'll try and knock out a few more things here. So Yui's like, hey, wait, look up ahead. We hear the dude. Quick, say what questions Demo 5 will answer. Well, you gotta ask the questions first. Now, I got about 10 minutes or so left to stream before I'll start wrapping things up. So, let's see, Yui goes up here. Is that animation flying stop? Does she talk in this? Yeah, she does. Okay. So we will actually need to say, we'll need to find the text box here. TB equals instance find OBJ text box 0 and TB, then we'll say if tb.page is 1, then swap anim equals true, and then we'll say if swap anim, not anime, swap anime. Will we get a chapter 3 sneak in Demo 5? So technically yes. Technically yes, we will get a chapter 3 sneak peek in some fashion for Demo 5. I'm not going to say you're going to be able to go to the chapter 3 area, but you will more than likely, provided I include it in the rhythm game stuff, be able to hear and listen to and play the rhythm game charts for the chapter 3 secret boss. Another boss I could picture having a newer attack style is K and Os having a platform attack. Maybe you go through a quick circus with flaming rings and stuff. Yeah, I actually... So, funny thing about K and Os, originally, like, in just the base game, right? Just not boss rush chaos, but just straight chapter 2 chaos boss fight. They were originally going to introduce you to Team Freestyle back in Demo 3. So, you know, I didn't do that because, oh wait, I don't need to do this, actually. I can just say, well, SBR, dodge left. That's what I'm looking for. Yep. When we go to this next one. But, yeah, I wanted to give them Team Freestyle and have it be just like a thing that's introduced. And the idea is, it would have been like, instead of it being like, oh, you have the spotlight and it follows a character and then you swap, you were going to control both characters at once, all right, in 2 separate areas of the screen. So like the left-hand screen would be main character, the right hand would be Yui, and you would have to make them both avoid attacks at the same time. Yeah, it would have been actually insane. An idea for hard mode. This is true. This is true. If I limit it to 2 characters, like Kaguya and a partner, and you have to you have to do that, it'd be so interesting. Well, actually, you know, I'm gonna put a script in here. So there we go. So when we swap pages, you'll hear the laugh sound, and then, because then we get the hee hee hee, hee 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 hee. We get that. And that will be good for that. So the next scene that comes after this, I'm gonna leave a second in between afterwards. Maybe not a second, half a second. Half a second to go through, and then we're just going to camera, set, position. Do that. Actually, I might need to set the X coordinates like this. X equals this, and Y equals this. Set to X and Y, and camera, set size, 240, 135. Zoom in on them, because they're going to be yapping. Maybe make this 32. Do that, and then we set up another text box. Hey, he shows up. And this is the new version, too, I believe. I don't know if this is, like, the most recent version of this track, though. So it doesn't really matter which of these guys are speaking as long as I animate them properly. Because they're not going to have text boxes. That's the most. Okay. Bonk. And again, I apologize about the coughing. I've had, like, crazy allergies the past, like, 3 weeks. And I'm only just now kind of getting over them. If Angels and Demons Chapter 1 is so good, where's Angels and Demons Chapter 1, 2? I mean, if you want to get technical about it, that's just the second half of Chapter 1. So, like, the canyon and stuff. If you want to get super duper technical about it. Let's see. So, with Brawl 1. Actually, I'll need to update him here too. Brawl 1, we're gonna make Thrall 1 talk. I'm gonna say set sprite, SPR, Chapel, Brawl 1 talk. Set image speed, just in case. The 1. And then we'll do this, but we're gonna change this to idle. We're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna say Thrall 2, and we're gonna go to Thrall 2 and make you talk. And then when this is done, the next scene, add 0.5, add scene. Oh my gosh, Woe Zone, yes! Heck yeah, I love this song so much. Woe Zone is literally goated. Another thing, because I know I was talking about this on stream earlier. Another thing that I would like to do in regards to creating content is actually do some Let's Plays and stuff, and maybe edit those into videos on the second channel. So, fun fact, people who were here yesterday may heard me talking about watching a lot of Grand Pooh Bear. Well, that's because I applied for a position as an editor for him. I didn't get it, unfortunately. But part of the application process was editing a sample video, like a VOD, down into a video as an example, like to see, like, hey, what can you do for the Grand Pooh Bear channel? And I might have bricked that because I missed the part where it said, hey, we're looking for like a 10-minute sample, and I edited an entire 8-hour VOD down to a 45-minute video. But they also said they were looking for someone who is goal-driven and doesn't need to be doesn't need their handheld or anything with it. And I was like, just going ahead and editing the video like I already have the position, that seems pretty bold to me, right? But because I use Sony Vegas, I guess it's not Sony anymore, but Magic's Vegas to edit, I quickly found out that it really doesn't like 1440p videos on my machine, so I had an excuse to teach myself DaVinci Resolve, which, oh my gosh, the workflow in that is kind of crazy, and I think I'm gonna just start using that for editing moving forward, because I was able to, in a day, well, maybe not even a day, in like 4 hours or so, just zap through an 8-hour long VOD and edit a video out of it. Like, I think that might make making longer form content a lot more bearable, especially since it's my own stuff. Like, I know what happens. I know what happens here on stream. I can edit this down real quick and get it into some kind of video, right? So, I mean, why not? Why not? I'm thinking I might just, like, start streaming some games, because I need to, like, I talked about this in the Discord, wanting to do a playthrough of all the Mario and Luigi games, and then also the Paper Mario games. I kind of just need to do that. It'd be good second channel content. Maybe stream that on days where I don't have as much time. Like, I was thinking maybe Wednesdays could be gaming streams, but I don't really know about that because I go to church on Wednesdays, and I'm kind of also, I have to go to church on Wednesdays because I'm the one that does the TV screens and the song lyrics and manages the live stream and all that stuff. So I kind of have to be there. Because the other person that helps out with that has been sick, so he won't be there either. But that's why you don't typically see Wednesday streams. The same will be true for Sunday as well. I probably won't ever do a Sunday stream because of the same reasons. I go in the morning, I go in the evening. And then Saturdays are usually busy, but this Saturday, luckily, it's free. And you guys best be here for this Saturday because over on the Twitch side of things, this might be a Twitch-only stream Saturday. Don't know yet. Still kind of weighing the options. But we are doing a raid train. Sponsored, I guess sponsored is what the term would be, by the Blessing Boat. Which, let me actually, I'm gonna shill here for a second. Let's do, what is Blessing Boat's thing here? The Blessing Boat, where Christian content creators collaborate. Basically, a few other people like myself that consider themselves Christian and stream and do things like that. We're doing a big raid train. So I got invited to participate in that. So there's also an event in the Discord server for when I'm going to be live. The actual raid train will start at 5, but I have the event set for 4:30 because I'm probably going to go live a little bit before then. So the idea is I'm going to try and get some stuff set up to where maybe I can show off like some playthrough related things of Demo 5, like up to where it's basically done. That's going to be just, I'm going to have to sit down and do some bug fix related things to get it in a state that I'm happy with. Because I'll be honest, I don't really want to show Demo 4. I want to show what I've been cooking for the past almost 2 years now, I guess. Well, maybe not 2 years, but like a long enough time that it feels like 2 years. And I think Demo 5 is what I should be showing, not Demo 4 at present day, present time, essentially. But anyhow, that is about all the time I have for stream today, I think. I did want to mention that about the raid train. I'm probably going to mention that until it happens. I'm not going to promise a stream tomorrow. There could be a stream, but if there is, it'll probably be a short one. It'll probably be a short stream, if any, because like I said, I do in fact have church and I have to be there. So has it been that long? You know, I actually am not sure. Because actually, you know, I can fact check this. Let me just look on YouTube here. I'll go on a side tangent just for a second. When did I post the Demo 4 trailer? The Demo 4 trailer was... Oh, no, okay, wait, no, it will be 2 years soon-ish, because Demo 4 released on June 11th, 2024. This is freaking 2026. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! This is about to be... This is... this is generational. Yeah. We're about to be locked in getting this freaking demo done. Like, I would like to have, and I'll talk about this just for a little bit before I head out. I think Demo 5 is going to be this year. If it doesn't come out this year, then something is seriously wrong, and this game might not be releasing for a long time if that's the case. But I'm feeling really confident about it, right? Like, you guys have seen just how much, now that I've got this system in place for the cutscenes, just how much work I've blown through in the past, like, 2 or 3 days, right? You guys have witnessed it. You see what's going on with it, right? I'm super motivated to stay on the streaming grind now, too. Especially now that I don't have to worry about the background noise and everything. I think now that I've got most, if not all of these underlying systems in a place that I'm happy with, that development is going to go a lot smoother moving forward, right? Going into chapter 2, for example, like, I'm just going to have to, like, make the assets and put them into the game, and then just, like, you know, I'm going to be gutting a lot of stuff for chapter 2. I'm not happy with how chapter 2 is. All right. We'll be gutting a ton in that. The story is getting revamped a lot for chapter 2. It's going to feel a lot better and less just like, oh, hey, go here, go there, and then you're done. And then once chapter 2 is reworked, now, here's the thing, all right? Once chapter 2 is reworked, it's only creating new assets from there on out. Just new assets for chapter 3 onwards, right? I don't have to be like, oh, well, I wrote this code like a few years ago. I need to fix it and make it work with the new system. Or, oh, this art is old. I don't really like how it looks. Nope, that's not how it's going to be, because I will have to make it from scratch just then and there, right? And that's what's going to be the stream content once Demo 5 is done, is we're just going to be working on, Chapter 3. We're going to be working on Chapter 4. We're going to be working on Chapter 5. We're going to be working on Chapter 6. We're not going to be working on Chapter 7 and Chapter 8 and stuff like that, because that's going to be spoilers. And you guys don't get to know about that, even if I do Patreon builds, because that's where the cutoff's going to be. You can complete, like, the idea is that for Patreon builds, I will do dev builds up to the end of Chapter 6. So Chapter 7 and 8, no one's going to know till the game's done, right? Even if you are a supporter. That's the idea I'm going with, because... And it's going to suck. It's going to suck, because... you know, you're going to be playing... Someone might play to the end of Chapter 6, and it's going to end on such a cliffhanger. Like, it's going to be such an evil, hateful cliffhanger that, like... it's going to be so LOL. It's going to be awesome. But the night before the Chapter 4 lore stream. True. But yeah, like, that's kind of the plan. I'm really motivated. I'm feeling really good about 2026 as a year in general. Like, even if I somehow don't get Demo 5 done, I want to get it out there so people can see, like, the game, right? Like I mentioned earlier, 90 days worth of short form content in the works, right? I have like 30 scripts written out. I need to start recording and editing those. I'm going to have them go consistently up. I'm going to have them uploading consistently every day for 3 months straight to tell the algorithm, hey, I am doing this, okay? I am locked in. I am making something out of this, right? Going with that, I have interactive streams planned, like a stream game that I'm working out the details for. We got a raid train coming up. We might even have some collabs in the future on the content side of things. We're talking like maybe some gaming, maybe bingo races on other things, maybe even just doing like good old-fashioned Let's Plays on the second channel, or that would be live streams, and then I edit them down into more digestible videos for the second channel and stuff like that. That's a playthrough of the Mario and Luigi games, the Paper Mario games, probably a few other things too on there. Like, I know I talked about Celeste earlier. Maybe doing some Kaizo Mario, stuff like that. Lots of stuff planned, lots of stuff I'm excited for, lots of stuff that you guys should be excited for too, I hope. However, I actually have to execute the plans there. I actually have to do the things. And that's the hardest part about it, is just keeping the drive, keeping the motivation to do it, or just forcing myself to do it even when I don't feel motivated, because that's how things work. Life doesn't care. This is your wisdom for today. Life doesn't care if you're motivated or not. It's going to move on anyways, and you got to stay with it. All right? Pick yourself up by the bootstraps, as a boomer would say, or something. Just stick with it. Even if you're doing a small thing that day, just as long as you're getting something done, you're making progress, right? And that's where I'm going to leave off stream today. So, for everyone who joined in to watch, thank you very much for doing so. I really appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoyed. Again, unsure on a stream tomorrow. There might be one, but otherwise expect a stream Thursday. I'm going to try and go live on the weekdays again, get my schedule back in swing, and once I'm confident I can keep the schedule, I might actually start planning out, hey, this is what I'm going to do on stream these days, and this is when I'll be live. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube, follow the Twitch, and you can join the Discord too via the links down below, whether that's YouTube description or Twitch buttons. Check out all of my other socials too, X/Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that. There will be more posts coming to those platforms soon, more than likely. So be sure to follow me on all those if you want even more Angels and Demons, and of course, join the Discord. You can get teaser pings there. I'll share things that I'm working on off stream, get notified as soon as I go live, and just interact with the community, hang out with us if you enjoyed your chatting today in the stream chat, and so on. So, continue the co-op series. Yeah, I'd have to redo it. I'd have to redo it outside of Demo 4 at this point. Because we actually did continue it, fun fact. We recorded to the end of the game, but like, there were a few bugs that we encountered, and also our caffeine started to wear off about halfway through, so the energy was just not the same that it was, and I didn't think it was going to be entertaining. But I'd definitely consider re-recording it and doing like a new like Demo 5 one in the future or something, or just revisiting Demo 4s. So, for the record. But anyways, that is all the time I've got. Again, thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.